What to do when your kids stop respecting you. 6 ways to win it back. Let me tell you something I've learned over the long road of life. It's not the big arguments that hurt the most, and it's not even the silence. It's that quiet shift when you look at your children and realize they don't look at you the same way anymore. The way they used to lean in when you spoke, hang on your every word, or come to you like you were the safest place in the world, that fades. And suddenly, you're sitting at the kitchen table, wondering when exactly your voice stopped mattering. I've sat in that chair. I've felt that hollow ache, not because I wanted control or obedience, but because I loved them so much. It hurt to feel invisible. You raise your kids with every bit of strength you've got. You work long hours. You protect them when they don't even know you're protecting them. You give up sleep, dreams, and even parts of yourself just to see them smile. And then one day they grow up, and it's like they've forgotten the sacrifices, forgotten the love, forgotten you. I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to watch them roll their eyes, talk over you, ignore your advice like you're just background noise in their busy world. And it cuts deep because you're not just anyone, you're their parent. The one who held them through storms they don't even remember, and yet here you are, questioning whether they still see you at all. But listen to me, and hear this not as a lecture, but from one old heart to another. It's not too late. You haven't lost them completely. Respect can be rebuilt, not with shouting. Not with guilt, but with wisdom, with presence. With love that doesn't quit. The truth is, this world teaches them a lot of things. Independence, ambition, rebellion, but it doesn't teach them reverence. That's something they learn, or relearn, through you. You still have power, not the kind that forces, but the kind that influences. You still have a voice, you still matter, maybe more now than ever. So if you're feeling broken by your own children's disrespect, I'm here to walk with you. I've seen families fall apart and come back together. I've watched hard hearts soften over time. And I've learned 6 powerful ways to win back the respect you deserve, not because you demand it, but because you've earned it. Let's begin. You're not alone in this. You're still a parent, and you still have work to do. Not to control them, but to lead them back to the love that started it all. Number 1, reflect before you react. Let me tell you something most people get wrong when their kids start acting out or talking back. They jump straight into discipline, correction, or emotional outbursts. I know because I did the same thing. The first time my son dismissed something I said like it was nothing, I got angry. I raised my voice, gave him the old "when I was your age" speech, and expected that would set things right. But all it did was widen the gap between us. He didn't hear me, he just shut down. And I was left feeling even more disrespected than before. You see, when we react out of hurt, we usually react the wrong way. And when we react too fast, we don't take the time to ask ourselves the hard questions. Where did this disrespect come from? Is it something new, or has it been growing quietly for years? Did I change? Did they? Or maybe somewhere along the line, we stopped truly seeing each other. I'm not saying their behavior is your fault. But I am saying it's worth looking in the mirror before you look out the window, because kids, even grown ones, don't just stop respecting you overnight. Sometimes they're acting out of pain, confusion, or resentment that hasn't been voiced. Other times, we may have slipped into habits of control or criticism that we didn't even notice. And if we want their respect, we have to start with humility. That's a hard word, I know. But it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Humility doesn't mean letting them walk all over you. It means being willing to look honestly at the relationship and admit where it broke down. That takes strength, not softness. So before you raise your voice or lay down new rules, I challenge you to reflect. Think back to when the relationship started to shift. Think about how you speak to them. Think about whether they feel heard or just managed. Respect starts with understanding. If you want to lead them back to that place, you've got to meet them where they are, not where you wish they were. Take a breath. Step back. Listen not just to their words, but to what's underneath them. That's where the repair begins. Number 2, speak with calm strength, not loud demands. There was a time when raising your voice meant something. When a father's or mother's tone alone could bring a room to silence. But today's world doesn't respond to that the same way. Kids, especially grown ones, don't react to loudness with respect. They respond with resistance, silence, or worse, distance. I've learned the hard way that volume doesn't equal authority. In fact, the louder you get, the less they listen. They don't hear your wisdom, they hear your frustration. And once they stop listening, you've lost more than just that moment. You've lost connection. So what works instead? Calm strength, not passivity. Not pretending everything's fine, but speaking truth with steadiness, with clarity, and with love. You don't have to shout to make a point. You don't have to intimidate to be heard. You just have to stand firm in who you are, in what you know, and in what you believe is right. Let me give you an example. One time, my daughter came to visit, and we got into a disagreement about how she was raising her own child. I started to go down that old road. You should do it this way. I did it that way. You turned out fine. But I caught myself. I stopped. I took a breath and said, I know you're doing your best. I'm proud of the mother you've become. I just want to offer something that helped me. Take it if it helps. Leave it if it doesn't. You know what happened? She didn't roll her eyes. She didn't walk out. She listened. And later, she actually came back and asked me for more advice. Why? Because I spoke with calm strength, not control. Respect is born in the space where people feel seen, not steamrolled. Your calm presence can be more powerful than any punishment. Your quiet wisdom, spoken with confidence and grace, can pierce through the noise of their world far better than a raised voice ever could. So the next time disrespect shows up, don't rise to meet it with more fire. Set the tone. Lower the heat. And speak from a place of grounded love. That's the kind of strength they'll remember. And eventually, respect. Number 3. Stop trying to control everything. Now I know this one is going to rub some folks the wrong way, especially if you come from my generation, where control was a sign of love. We thought being a good parent meant keeping our kids in line, telling them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And maybe that worked when they were little, but let me tell you something hard. What once worked to keep them safe now might be the very thing pushing them away. Control is a tricky thing. You think you're helping, you think you're protecting them, but control, when it's constant, starts to sound like doubt. To your kids, it sounds like, I don't trust you, I don't believe you can make your own choices. And nothing kills respect faster than feeling belittled. I had to learn this lesson the painful way. My youngest son stopped calling. He said he was too busy, but I knew something was wrong. Eventually, when we finally sat down and talked, he told me the truth. Dad, he said, I always feel like I'm disappointing you, like nothing I do is ever good enough. That hit me like a punch in the chest. I didn't even realize how often I was offering advice that sounded more like criticism. The truth is, control makes people retreat, especially your children. They don't stop loving you, but they might stop opening up to you. And when that door closes, respect slips out with it. So if you're still trying to steer every part of their lives, how they raise their kids, who they date, how they spend their money, how they live, you've got to pause. Ask yourself, am I trying to help, or am I just afraid of letting go? Letting go isn't giving up. It's trusting that the seeds you planted will grow, even if they grow differently than you expected. Your kids may not always do it your way, but they'll remember the respect you showed when you let them live their own lives. That's how you win respect back. Not by tightening the grip, but by loosening it. Not by leading with control, but with confidence that your relationship is stronger than your opinion. And trust me, they'll feel that shift, and they'll respect it. Number 4, show the respect you want to receive. This is one of the greatest truths I've ever learned. Respect is mirrored. You want to know why your kids might be disrespecting you? Sometimes the answer is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's because they've seen that same tone, that same attitude reflected from you. Now, I'm not here to point fingers or shame anyone. We all make mistakes. Lord knows I've made plenty. But one day, I realized I was demanding a level of respect I wasn't always giving. I interrupted them mid-sentence. I dismissed their opinions because they didn't match mine. I acted like being older automatically made me wiser. And while age brings experience, wisdom isn't loud, it listens. Respect starts with how you speak, how you respond, how you handle disagreement. When you treat your children, no matter their age, with the dignity you want in return, something powerful happens. Their defenses go down, their hearts soften. And slowly, they start to mirror that behavior back. I remember sitting across from my daughter during a tense conversation. Instead of lecturing her, I asked her to help me understand her point of view. That moment changed everything. She looked shocked, honestly. She said, "I didn't think you wanted to hear what I thought." That cut deep. But I took it in. I apologized for the times I'd shut her down, and I let her speak. Showing respect means being willing to say, "I was wrong," or "help me understand," or even, "I see where you're coming from." That kind of humility is not weakness, it's leadership. Real leadership, and your kids, even if they don't say it out loud, will feel the shift. You can't demand something you're not willing to give. But if you give it genuinely, consistently, and with love, you'll be amazed how the tide starts to turn. They'll begin to see you not just as the parent who raised them, but the person who truly values them. And from that place, real respect can grow again. Number 5. Repair the past. Don't just pretend it didn't happen. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, especially parents who feel disrespected, is trying to move forward without ever looking back. We think what's done is done, or it's in the past, just let it go. But let me tell you something, from a long life of trial and error, what you don't face will keep following you. If there's been pain between you and your children, if there were harsh words, broken promises, years of distance, or misunderstandings that were never resolved, don't pretend they never happened. That silence doesn't heal anything. It only buries the hurt deeper. And beneath that buried hurt is often where disrespect grows. I remember a time my oldest son pulled away from me. I thought it was just the busyness of life. But when we finally sat down after years of walking on eggshells, he said something I'll never forget. He said, "Dad, you never apologize for the way you used to speak to me. I know you meant well, but I felt small around you. It crushed me." But he was right. I had been too proud, too stubborn, too sure that I was right to see the damage my words had done. So right then and there, I looked him in the eye and said, "I'm sorry, not because I'm weak. Because I love you and I wish I had done better." That moment opened a door that had been locked for years. He forgave me, not right away, but eventually, and respect began to take root again, not because I forced it, but because I humbled myself to plant the seed. Don't be afraid to bring up the past, not to relive the pain, but to release it. Ask your children, did I ever hurt you in a way I didn't see? And if they tell you something that stings, don't defend it. Just listen, acknowledge. Apologize if you must. Heal what's been left unhealed. Respect grows when old wounds are finally treated with truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to repair what time and pride have damaged. Number 6, live with purpose, not just expectation. Let me ask you something that might sound a bit strange. What kind of life are your children watching you live now? It's easy to think respect comes from the past, from everything we've done for our kids, all the sacrifices we made, the years we poured into them. And yes, those things matter, but your children, especially your adult children, are watching how you live right now. They're watching how you age, how you handle loss, how you treat others, how you speak about the world, how you carry yourself. And that more than anything shapes the way they see you. See, respect isn't just given because you're a parent. It's earned continually by how you live. If all you do now is complain, criticize, or talk about how they've changed for the worse, what are you really showing them? Are you someone they admire? Someone they're inspired by, or someone they avoid? That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. The most respected elders I've ever known weren't the ones who demanded attention. They were the ones who lived with dignity, who stayed curious, who kept growing, kept loving, kept giving, who found purpose even in their later years. Don't let your purpose shrink just because your role as a parent has shifted. You're still here for a reason. Get involved in your community, volunteer. Learn something new, create, mentor. Serve. Be someone whose life speaks louder than your words. Your kids may not always agree with you, but when they see you living with meaning, they'll respect you. Not because you asked for it, but because you've shown them how to grow older with grace, strength, and integrity. And that kind of example, that's the kind they'll never forget, even if they don't say it, even if they don't show it all the time. Deep down, they'll carry it. And when the time comes, they'll look at you not just as their parent, but as the person they quietly aspire to become. Conclusion. Respect is a two-way street, paved with love and patience. Let me leave you with this. Respect isn't something you can demand. It's something you earn, something that's built over time, often through struggles and through listening more than speaking. The way to win back respect from your children isn't in the force of your voice, the control of your rules, or the weight of your past authority. It's in showing them who you are now, how you've grown, and how deeply you still care. You've done your best as a parent, but the journey doesn't end when they become adults. In fact, it might be just beginning. It's easy to think that once they're grown, you're just left with your memories and expectations. But the truth is, your influence can continue to grow if you're willing to put in the effort, not to be right, but to be respectful, to be humble, to be present in their lives in a way that values them as individuals. If you've noticed a shift in their respect, don't be discouraged. Don't give up. There's still time to change the course. Start by reflecting, speaking with calm strength, and letting go of control. Show the respect you want to receive. Don't shy away from repairing the past, and live a life of purpose that they can admire and learn from. When you do these things, respect will follow. Not because you demanded it, but because you've earned it through your actions, your humility, and your commitment to being a better version of yourself. And trust me, your kids will see that. It may take time. It may take patience, but eventually they'll look at you not as the parent who scolded them, but as the wise elder they can turn to for guidance and the person they admire most. That's how respect is won back. That's how relationships heal, not by force, but by love. Keep loving them. Keep growing. Keep being the person they can respect, not because you demand it, but because you've shown them you deserve it.